Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jedi Knights Watch. My name is Graham, and this is Sixth Scale Symposium. And I have a very special guest with me tonight. It is DLO. He's back for more punishment. And actually, DLO, we actually kind of matched tonight. We kind of got some yellow and black gold on. We both aren't wearing hats tonight. This was totally
true.
kind of unplanned.
We both styled our hair for this evening.
Yes, we're in sync. So it's good to have you again, my ICS friend. Apparently, one of our other brethren may or may not be canceling. I have no clue. Fabs is maybe ghosting us. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But nonetheless, with or without him, we're going to have a fun show with you guys tonight. Let's just check in with the chat, see who's here right now. I think people are filtering in and out as we speak. We got Payden23. What's up, fellow collectors? How's it going, Payden? Got Daniel SC in the house, ready to get this party started. Oh, Mr. Solid, Mr. Dependable, Jables. Hey, everybody. What's going on? We got... I always forget. Is it... I hate this. It's either Jazzy or Jay-Z. I think it's Jazzy. No, I think it's
Jazzy.
Okay, Jazzy. What is going on? Thank you for joining. Are you questioning it?
Z in the middle there. Yeah, I am, because it's Jazzy for sure.
Well, and I'm dyslexic, so you got to forgive me.
Oh, okay. Well, now I feel bad for making fun of the mentally retarded. Thanks a lot. What a way to start the stream.
Mentally challenged. Thank you very much. We got 1-6 Junkie in the house. Good evening, gentlemen. What is going on? Look, guys, we have we got kind of an agenda tonight, but if you guys have anything you want to talk about, obviously here I like to get you guys included in the chat. We're a community. This isn't me preaching to you. This is us having a conversation together. So if you guys want to talk about something, shoot it in the chat, and Dilo and I will be happy to kind of address it or talk about it. We also have David in the house with the fire symbols. He's shooting fire at us. Very cool. Very cool. So let's just get into it, Dilo. Unless you want to add anything. You have a good Monday?
I had a great Monday. I just realized we are killing it with our backgrounds. Look at us here. Look at us, guys. Bunch of guys in Module Spaces over here. Look at that.
It's good. I got this new camera.
This is going to be a classy stream.
It is. We're bringing the class, and we're going to sound great. We're going to look great doing it. You have a little bit more hair. Maybe you could send me some of that hair, and then I could look better.
I will shave my back for you tonight. You got it. It's going in the mail tomorrow.
It could have been worse. You could have shaved something else too, so that's okay. I'll take that. So, I like to talk about kind of real life hobby topics here. And one of the questions that comes up in other chats or just around the forums or the community itself is just people struggling with the hobby. And I think a lot of people are struggling this day and age with the high prices of gas, food, oil. Everything is just through the roof.
Eggs,
yeah. And good luck finding a dozen eggs for under $7, $8. It's crazy.
I had to fight a one-legged guy for some eggs the other day.
Get back. So we never like to see anybody in the hobby tap out or sell all their stuff out, but we also understand life happens. Maybe you bought a new house. Maybe you had an unexpected birth of a child. You just had to change some life things, and and the hobby is just what it is. It's a hobby, so it's not a need. It's just kind of something fun we do. So sometimes it has to go. But I was wondering, Dilo, for anybody that's just struggling, I guess, I'm part of the community too. I struggle once in a while with this too. I was doing good until the fall when I bought a new house, and the mortgage went higher. Daycare went higher. Groceries went higher. So stuff like that. So I was buying a figure, 2 figures a month. Now I'm trying to limit myself, trying to keep my head above water. So I'm not going to lie, I'm one of those people that are struggling as well. I'm not thinking about tapping out or anything like that, but it's a struggle. We're trying to balance life with this hobby, and how can we do both? So my my question is, what advice would you give a collector struggling to stay in the hobby this day and age with whatever they're going through?
Well, unfortunately, one of the negatives of being in the hobby as long as I have is that, unfortunately, you see a lot of people go through this here. So you're not alone. Everybody goes through it. Even myself go through it at one stage or another. Honestly, that just means you're human. So it's okay. It's okay to feel that way every now and then. Now, when I was personally going through it, it was more of, for me, it was more of a guilt. It was more of a guilt because here I am enjoying this amazing hobby, very expensive hobby, as we all know. And then, there's other people, in my family that, you know, would like nice things too. And you feel bad because you're doing this for you, but at the same time, part of you started this is because you wanted an outlet for yourself. You wanted something that was yours and yours alone. Like, for example, I didn't actually begin the hobby until I got my own home because it just didn't make sense to have these expensive figures in boxes or in closets somewhere, just collecting dust and not being able to breathe and appreciate them. So I waited till I was ready to be a homeowner and I started my hobby, my journey. Upon that time, started feeling guilty, and then I started realizing that, man, I have way more than I ever bargained for as far as how many figures I thought I was going to collect. And, at the same time, it was just one of those things where, like, it wasn't of, am I exhausted? Is the hobby getting too expensive? Which obviously today it is. But it was more of like, am I doing the right thing with my money? Am I being responsible? Am I being uh, appreciative and respectful of everybody else and everybody else's sacrifices in the house too? Am I being selfish here? So the good thing was, it was one of those things where I had a conversation with my wife at that time and, just kind of told her how I was feeling. And I asked her point blank, do you want me to stop? Is this something that, bothers you there? But I joke around about my wife, making fun of my hobby. But truthfully, she's very supportive. She wasn't always supportive. And I think that's part of what keeps me going. It makes me feel okay about, doing this here, or even, spending time with you guys at, 10 o'clock Eastern time for me. Just that, after a while, she understands that, this is something that's as important to me. It's a passion of mine. And as long as I'm taking steps to be careful and not overextend myself, then that is something that, it's going to allow me to continue to be in this hobby here. So, for a lot of people, I know you may not always have that support from somebody at home. Maybe somebody kind of resents that. And that's a tough one to deal with there. I really don't have an answer. I don't think anybody has an answer for you except a marriage counselor, but yeah. But all the same, I think
my
the big
advice
thing
would be
is,
you guys should get divorced. Oh, okay.
yeah, definitely. I do not stand with Graham on that one there.
As a marriage counselor, I could just see him saying
As a marriage. But no, all the same, I just think it's one of those things where it's healthy to take a step back. It doesn't mean you're taking a step away, but taking a step back just to evaluate is if you're doing this for the right reasons. And the right reason is always going to be you. You are the right reason. You're the reason why you're doing this. You're not doing this for a guy you met online to impress him with your collection compared to his collection. You're not doing this to get it because everybody else says they're going to get it. You don't know that for sure if they're really going to do it. You're just making sure that if this is still making you happy, then you're doing the right thing. But as long as you're keeping everything's perspective that this is a hobby and this isn't your whole world, then you can still enjoy it. And I think that's the
Right.
part that always seems to get left back the fastest in this hobby is that I feel like people lack enjoyment because they take it too serious sometimes.
Man, that's a lot of good info to kind of try to unpack. You said a lot of great points there. The first would be that we're not alone. Like I think sometimes in this hobby, like especially for me, obviously I have my core group of friends, from YouTube, but like I don't have anybody that I like see that collects as well. So I think a lot of times it does feel kind of like a lonely hobby, and I think that's why we all get together too, is so that we can enjoy this hobby together and share it with somebody. So sometimes it does feel like you're kind of in this journey alone, but you also said all of us go through this. So at some point or another. So, you can talk to people about it. I think it is a little bit taboo to talk about the struggles of the hobby because it is expensive. But like if you're struggling financially or something like that, I think it's tough to come out and say, like, is this hobby for me or how do you guys do it? And I think a lot of people don't want to talk about that. So I think also taking a step back is a really good idea. Take a break, take a month off from buying a figure. See if you miss it. See if you,
Nothing wrong with that at all.
right. Like, see if you kind of rekindle what was once there, or maybe you just take a break to financially recover a little bit. I always talk about being selective. We talk about, you guys, if you watch me on Fab's channel or even just my own, I'll talk about these figures that are coming out and how great they look. But you probably hear me say, I'm passing. I'm passing. It's probably like, well, Jesus, this guy even collect. But this day and age, we all have different struggles that we're going through with the world that we're living in. So maybe you get a figure once a month. Like, I think you collect at your own pace. It's a marathon. It's not a race. Do what makes you happy, because none of us are going to be in your living room looking at your collection as much as we'd like to be. It's not built on what we want. It's what you want. But I would say too, you also have to put your family first. Uh, Make sure you're paying your bills. Try to set some money aside, then use some extra money. And if you're doing $20 a month, so you get a couple figures a year for a couple years. Like my kids are in daycare, DLO, so that's like a second mortgage.
It is.
So
It really is.
so maybe I slow down until they're in school, and then I can speed back up again. It's all perfectly fine. But I also get, like, with the amount of pre-orders out there that Hot Toys has been throwing at us, that heat, it's just like there's so many things we want. But I think you got to come to the realization you can't get it all. So being selective on what you collect, maybe narrowing it down to some lines. I've had to do that too. I was collecting Star Wars kind of every which way, and then I decided, look, I got to just kind of stick to the original trilogy and then maybe Mando, because I it's just too big of a franchise by itself. Same with Marvel. It's
Right.
the Avengers and it's Guardians. DC it's pretty limited because they don't really come out with a ton anyway. And then,
Right.
I have a couple Predators and stuff like that. So being selective is a good idea. Take a break if you need to. Maybe rebudget. Maybe some of you just aren't budgeting and you need to kind of relook at your financials and just say, look, I can only get a figure every couple months, and that's kind of the way it is. What do you feel about pre-ordering? Like, I know some collectors out there kind of get buried under all the pre-orders, and then that might be a reason they tap out, because then they all start to hit at the same time, and then they're like, oh shit, I can't afford all this, and then they're just kind of belly up. I mean, I don't know if,
Yeah.
like, because it's easy to pre-order, so I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, a few bucks today means nothing, for 6 to 8, possibly 10 months, and then eventually start kicking in, and then you're actually making the payments. I mean, yeah, it all sounds good in theory. And some people, it works out great. I mean, Fab is an excellent example that guy navigates the pre-order, kind of sea like I've never seen anybody else do. So I give him all the credit in the world. For me, I was pre-ordering when I had to.
Sure.
Since we haven't really had to pre-order, and I know that everybody are saying like it's a witch hunt. We don't know if things are sold out or not. I don't care if they are or not. And I'm going to tell you the very simple reason why is they may very well be sold out. I'm not convinced they are, but let's say they are hypothetically sold out. The one thing that will keep me comfortable knowing that I will still get my hands on one is the secondary market has still not been fixed. So Sideshow and Hot Toys can make less, but the secondary market will still come to the rescue right now. That's just how it is. But having said that, the pre-order thing, I learned a very hard lesson during the Avengers the end of the saga there with Infinity War and Endgame. I was at the time I wasn't collecting Marvel. I was DC and Star Wars, but I really wanted to get into Marvel. And I said to myself, oh man, this is going to be like the last time you see the team. I'm going to go ahead and pre-order everything that comes out from Endgame, right? Well, in my infinite wisdom, I did all that. And I was impatient. I couldn't wait. Then I bought everything from the line before, Infinity War, right? Everything that came out of there, which was cool for a moment. But realistically, it wasn't the interpretation of figures that I necessarily wanted. You had scruffy Captain America instead of like the traditional, helmet and shield Captain America. So it left me wanting to still have that one there. And I found myself resenting the figure that I went out and bought myself. No one told me to buy it. I bought it myself. And I just realized to myself, that is just too much time to decide whether or not you want to, get into a line or not. It's not really a fair process. Honestly, it sets you up for failure, quite frankly, in some regard there. And I wound up canceling all my pre-orders. And I even went through a resentment kind of phase of where I sold everything from Marvel, right? So I was literally for months on end waiting for Sideshow to delay it so I can call them immediately and get my refund, my NRD back, right? Just kind of collect them slowly but surely. And what I wound up doing was I got almost to the very end, and then of all figures to ship on time, it was the Star-Lord from Endgame, or was it Infinity War? It was Infinity War.
Yep.
Star-Lord, but he was like a very late addition to that lineup. So in my stubbornness, I decided, I like Star-Lord, so I guess I'll have one Marvel figure. I got him, and then poof, before you knew it, I started going down the rabbit hole again. Figures that I initially pre-ordered and canceled, I got them again. Only this time, the market was totally different. I didn't have to worry about pre-orders, and pre-orders were not even a thing. And guess what? All these figures are already hitting discount before I can even afford to get them all together. So in my head, it was just like, do I really need a pre-order? Is it really necessary? Because I literally canceled everything, got my NRDs back, and got every figure I wanted from that line, and I got it for way less than under retail. So
right.
I'm not a believer in pre-order until I have to. That's a short summary of what I was trying to get to there.
No, that's a good idea too. Is look at the secondhand market, wait for discounts on Sideshow, because the long game is really paying off right now too. The other thing I thought of too was people can also stop collecting for a while, but not have to sell off their hobby. I mean, everybody's got different circumstances, but maybe you just need to take maybe a longer term break, but you can still enjoy the hobby or the collection you have, but maybe you're just not buying for right now. Maybe until this whole world thing smooths over, if it ever does. But, or the other thing I'm thinking about too, maybe you don't collect as many variants of the same figure. Do you need 15 Iron Man figures, or could you live with 5? Using your collection to fund your collection, although this day and age it's a little dicey just because obviously we know things aren't really selling for what we would like them to sell for on the secondhand market. So again, take that with a grain of salt. That doesn't always work, but maybe like for me, I had Wonder Woman, the golden armor, as kind of like a placeholder for this Wonder Woman that just came out. So I'm probably going to look to sell her, but you got to be careful that you can try to get your money back, or, not really lose your ass on it, because then you're not really helping yourself either. You're getting rid of your collection, plus you're not really making any money. So, there's no right answer to, some people just have to get out and, to each their own. But if anybody we could just help to stay in the hobby, obviously that would be great, because that's kind of what it's all about, is us together collecting and sharing this journey together.
Absolutely.
Let me just check in with the chat here. Did you pre-order the 89 Batmobile? I did not. Did you?
You already know my answer. When a 3-minute rant over here. Yeah, no, I didn't pre-order it. No.
No, I don't even plan on getting it at all. I'm pretty satisfied with the Hot Toys version. I cannot afford those types of vehicles that are going for that kind of money. The only reason I have this Batmobile is because I got him loose, incomplete, and a good deal. So that was kind of my way of getting him. So no, I think I'm gonna hold tight here. Maybe Hot Toys will reissue the 89 Batmobile this summer, so we'll see. I'm not going to lie, the hair is also making me a bit jealous. Yeah, it's got its style and everything.
I'll put on a hat next time. That's it.
To be honest, if I had that kind of
got a haircut today, I was feeling good, and
I wouldn't wear a hat. So there you go. DLO, do you want to
It's
dip into
going
this for
to.
just a couple minutes? I know we discussed it over the weekend, but any
Yeah, sure.
thoughts on the Mark 6 2.0? Are you
I think it's
pre-ordering it? No, I'm just
gorgeous.
kidding.
No, stop it. No pre-order, but I like this one a lot. I mean, I was a bit surprised that it was announced, and more surprised how it was coming out with this 2.0 variant over here with this amazing gantry setup here. It's a really good Iron Man suit. I mean, it's a classic. Definitely, if you wanted to get some bang for your buck, this is a good one. Just because, this suit appeared both in Iron Man 2 and in the Avengers. So I always
Yep.
think that's always a huge value to a collector, and having a good reason to get a figure. But I heard some grievances about this right here. This is interesting. This I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's not a head sculpt. It's something. It's yeah. When you look at that,
So I don't think it's that bad, but I know DLO isn't a fan, and actually, yeah, you really don't like it. So
I
do you
don't.
see
I know
Robert
there's
Downey
people that
Jr. in it?
do.
But
No,
can you
I do
see the
not.
You don't see the likeness
You
either.
know who I see in this? There, swear to God, this
Facts.
looks like no. God, no. He wishes. God, no. Honestly, this looks like if you put like a plumber's cap on. This looks like a life version of like Super Mario. You know what I mean? If you look at it a little harder. Like that's a Luigi or a Mario right there. I don't know. It's not Tony Stark. I'm sorry. It's definitely. I know there's people that like it, and I'm sorry if you like it. Great. I mean, at least you're gonna be happy then. But for me, this is he looks so damn old. Like my
He does look
God, like
old
it's
and
so
pasty.
hard to get over this. Yes, and the wrinkles are ridiculous here. I mean, obviously, off camera, you've asked me this question. I gave you a more not safe for work answer when I told you the first time, which was probably one of my best jokes ever, and I can't say it here. But yeah, it's what bothers me the most of this series. Like we just got the Mark V suit up Tony Stark, right, with the racetrack suit, and that one is a really recent sculpt, and this is only from the next movie over. It just seems so odd that we have like this jump in age drastically as this one is compared to the last sculpt we just got, and in our final sculpt, which is the Engo sculpt. This honestly looks older than the Mark 85 head sculpt, which is very bizarre for me. That's what's really throwing me off.
Yeah, and I do see Robert Downey in here, and I like the smirk. I like the chance that Hot Toys took, giving you kind of like a different head sculpt, a different look, because we have so many Tony Stark head sculpts that it's just nice to have a change. It's great that they finally gave you the separate rolling eyeballs, but I see the likeness. I just think it does look a little bit too aged. I hope they clean that up a little bit. Hopefully it comes out softer, and then I think it'll be a decent looking head sculpt. But I understand too, it kind of limits you with the smirk on posing. Maybe you can't get him into certain poses just because of how he looks. It might look goofy, but I like it. So yeah, I don't think it's as bad as some people are like saying. No. I'm good with my 85. Like I've never been like a multiple Iron Man.
85 is a great suit.
Yeah, like the only multiples I'll collect is Batman, Joker, maybe Vader, maybe Skywalker, Luke, but outside of that, like that's kind of one of my rules is I try to have one character and then I can like get the other ones. So
yeah.
If I've had the Mark 7 before. I've had the Mark 4, the plastic version. And then I've had the 85 clean, and I've just kind of moved on from them when the time came to get the next one. And now I've got the 85 battle damage, and I really like it. But like I like this angle here. I think it looks good. I just think he still looks too textured and too old.
Yeah, I mean I think they're onto something, but this is not it yet.
Right.
Also, big shout out. Obviously, you mentioned the purse system. This is a first for Marvel, by the way. Marvel has never gotten a purse treatment ever.
That's crazy.
Something
Do you
to
ever
consider.
think,
There's been 81 Iron Men released by Hot Toys, and this is the first one with purse.
man, do you ever think like the purrs or the sirs will ever be like the norm? Or do you think it's always just going to be pick and choose? Do you think they'll ever just go strictly to that? I would hope so.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think your heavy hitters will all get them in the future. And when I mean heavy hitters, like your Iron Mans,
Right.
your Batmans, the ones that they know that will sell.
Your Peacemaker won't get it. Just
Maybe not Peacemaker. Well, actually,
yeah,
does
like
he? I don't even
Batman's
know.
and yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
But I mean, yeah,
I'd
the
be
heavy hitters have them now. But I think Hot Toys is. I feel like Hot Toys is kind of going through their midlife crisis. Like they don't know what they want to be necessarily. Do we want to be a 1/6, figure maker, and do we want to put purrs in this here? Do we want to be a statue company? Do we want to put up these amazing dioramas and all that stuff like that here? And it kind of reflects in their pricing of everything. Everything is kind of all over the place. I mean, this one is like what, 650, 700, something like that.
655, and if you're just getting the Iron Man figure, it seems like a pretty good deal at 365, I think.
Right.
I mean, if you're looking at the 85 was what, 410-ish? Not the battle
Right.
damage. The Mark V was what, 360, so that's comparable. But like some of them have been, yeah, mid fours, and then this one's at 365, which seems like a pretty good deal.
That's insane
But yeah,
because I mean, what Chrome Mando's like what right now? 350 as well, 360, something like that.
Yeah, 330 for the non-deluxe, and then I think 375 for
Right. Seems
the
like
deluxe.
it seems like when you were collecting a hot toy and it was an Iron Man, it was justifiable because the die cast and what have you like that.
Right.
And that's why you're paying that big price. But it just seems like I was saying, like they don't know what they want to be right now. So everything's priced everywhere. So but to stay on track with this here, I mean, this is I would prefer
This is
this
nice.
over the Mark IV gantry setup. I like this. It just seems sleek, very cool. This is definitely top shelf material kind of stuff. If I
USB
had detail
powered.
still, right? Yes. I mean, it's awesome. And then like, this is cool. Like if you have a cleaner head sculpt, the Tony sculpt, having it set up like this with the helmet kind of disassembled, being reinstalled on top of them, this is like a showstopper. This has potential to be that amazing one of a kind until they do a 3.0 Iron Man Mark VI. So, but I don't know. I just I said Hot Toys is so all over the place right now, but it's
a cool piece.
It needs work though. It's for me, it's like almost a deal breaker. If you're asking me, hey, would I buy that head sculpt has to change? That's like a deal breaker for me. Sorry.
How many Iron Man
everybody.
figures do you have?
Too many for me. Not many as most, but too many for me.
Do you have any of them like posed with the Tony Stark helmet, or are they all suited up?
I had the Mark 85 with the helmet off for a little while, but then I kit bashed one recently. And I have my Mark 7, but I have like the face mask open, so you kind of it's exposed. So I kind of do that more than I realize I do. I have the 47 and I have the 50, and yeah, I like the Tony sculpt. I'm one of those, now that you mentioned, I'm realizing I am a Tony sculpt head sculpt like guy. I like using that head sculpt a lot, so it makes it easier for me to buy an Iron Man if there's a cool Tony Stark head sculpt to go with it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, especially if you're paying that kind of money, you want to have you don't want to like say, well, I'm spending this kind of money, but I'm not getting the head sculpt I want. You want to be kind of all in for it. So I get it.
Satisfied with the complete purchase.
Yep. Yeah. We got Conquer Knight in the house. What's going on, my friend? Also, Commander Green in the house. Thank you for joining the show. Going back to kind of some of our topic that we were talking about, just how to avoid advice to kind of avoid burnout would be, Peyton says, one thing is important. Don't buy into the hype. Make sure you love the figure first. And that's a lesson I had to learn in my first year or so of collecting was buy what you love. Don't buy what you like. You'll regret it. So if you ever bought a figure, DLO, that you just thought you liked, but maybe you learned to love, and then you just wound up selling it? Are you pretty good with?
Far too many. No,
Yeah.
listen, those first couple
He's
years.
just like us.
No, listen, I just have more like mistakes underneath my belt than you guys do. You'll get there too, but we all do get there. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that comes with territory. There's tons of figures I wish I didn't get, and there's tons of figures I wish I did get. You know, it's just Peyton hit it right in the head. Like, it's not buying into the hype. That's extremely hard. And Hot Toys does make it easier in a indirect kind of way, because if Hot Toys had figures day one of whatever movie I came from seeing, I would be bankrupt. Like, no doubt in my mind. And I would probably be losing a fortune selling them as well. So going back to like not pre-ordering, just helping kind of like let the flavor of that excitement kind of dissipate a little bit there, and decide if I still want it, then that's when I'll pick up a figure there. But definitely, that's really good advice. Don't buy into hype. Wait on it. See if you still feel the same way after a couple weeks or months, until after whatever's got you excited is like gone.
You guys are killing it in the chat, so I'm trying to catch up. So, just keep it going. We got some good conversations going here. Daniel says, have a plan on what you want to collect, even if it's short term, and stick to it. And that's a big deal at the end there. Stick to it. It's easy to have a plan, then you kind of fall off that plan, and I'm getting back into this, or I'm doing that. So yeah, just try to stick to it, be disciplined, and hopefully that'll help too. You don't have to have a lot of figures to enjoy your collection. Buy within your budget and figures you really love. That's what I said too. Like, it's a marathon. It's not a race. Who cares if you have 5 figures in your first 2 years of collecting? Like, if those are the figures that makes you happy, then that's what this is about. If you can admire those 5 figures more than you can admire a couple DTOFs, packed full of figures, then who's to say that's wrong? The guilty phase is tough to push through, especially if you have a family. I'm the same way. A supportive wife makes the difference. Keep going. Yeah, that's awesome that you do have that supportive wife. That does make it easier. Do what makes you happy. Stay in your lane. We got Collector Joey in the house. I look at it in the sense that I don't have any other hobbies or interests that could be as expensive, if not then collecting. And I decided to streamline what I buy and try to stay in control. I mean, that's the thing too. A lot of guys have their own hobbies, right? Like, some like boating, some like cars, some like fancy whiskeys. Yeah,
I was
sneakers.
Sneakerhead before I did this. I have not bought a pair of Jordans since I started collecting Hot Toys.
I mean, you buy a boat, and that's 20 grand right there. So, I mean, that's, there could be more expensive things to get into. So, I always remind the wife of that. Could be worse things. At least I'm not doing drugs. Come on.
Buy a boat. I swear to God, I'll buy a boat tomorrow. Don't test me.
I will buy a muscle car. The cool thing is there's always going to be new figures, and they get better as the years go by. That's another good point, is there's always going to be figures. Even if you miss out, maybe you'll pay more. Maybe you won't like after it's sold out. Maybe you find it on the secondary market months down the road, and you're able to pick it up for a deal. Like, we don't know. It's not how it used to be, where once these figures sold out, they just shot up in price. Now it's taking longer to sell out, so you have more time. Granted, I get, what we talked about, like, and even what Flavio has said, like the fear of missing out, the FOMO, because we don't know what's truth and what's not. But even if, kind of like DLO said, even if they do sell out and they're telling the truth and they're making smaller batches, you still have other ways to get the figure. It's not like it's just completely gone. So keep that in mind. Focusing on the prequels and Clone Wars, so far the orders are spread out enough that I can pre-order what I want and not have a ton drop at the same time. It's great planning right there too. I mean, you can't control all of that, but that's awesome that it's kind of working out. So we got everybody kind of talking to each other here. Do I need a clone that basically a repaint of another? I say yes. Yes, I do need that. Brick Artemis in the house. What's going on, my friend? Thanks for joining. He thinks I'm going to get this Iron Man figure, but now if this was Batman, I could understand him saying that, but I only have one Iron Man, so I don't know. And plus, some people are going to love this, but then some people, when they're looking at the whole price package, it's going to just scare people away. I mean, do you think? I don't think this package is for everybody. Do you? I mean, if people can be like, I can get 3 figures instead.
No, and you know, if we're being brutally honest about Iron Man, it doesn't have the cachet it had a few years ago. With the end of Endgame, it just seems like the excitement for another Iron Man has really gone down, like almost like crashed. And you know, when it comes to like the War Machines of the world, the Iron Mans, I mean, heck, even look at Rescue, first ever figure of Pepper Potts in an Iron Man suit. That thing has gotten discounted so many times I can't keep track anymore. So those are the first figures to get the discount. So is there urgency to pick up the gantry? Well, at least the gantry set, you know, with Iron Man? Probably not. That's probably going to sit around for a while because it's the higher, more expensive ones tend to stick around a little bit longer, and eventually there is a discount. So unless you really got to have it now, there's no sense of having to pay that today, pre-order tomorrow, or anything whatever plans you do. I mean, I think if you really want it, it will be there whenever that releases, and you'll probably, if you're patient enough, you'll probably find a good deal on it there. But things like the gantry separately, I think something like that would probably sell the fastest out of the 3 SKUs for this.
Just to clarify, Brick was saying he was speaking on the Batmobile, but joking, of course.
Ooh.
Batmobile is a better chance, but I don't know if I can swing that. But we got some. It's a Tony. Antonio Stark.
See?
Iron Mario. I like it, guys.
You can't unsee it once
here.
it's been said.
I think it looks better than the Ant-Man smiling sculpt there. What do you think about that, DLO? Which one would you prefer?
I think
like
that's
Ant-Man?
always going to be the standard of like, it can't be any worse. Like, that's not even a fair one. I mean, you can, any bad sculpt. I mean, Ant-Man, I think, poor Ant-Man, I think he ranks probably as our least favorite head sculpt of all time. It's really not terrible because it is Paul Rudd, you know, America's sweetheart, but the ageless one. But yeah, I mean, it's, I you know what it is? I think Hot Toys just cannot get the smirking / smiling face down. Like, they can do stoic, they can do angry, but when you ask them to put any kind of happiness in a character's face, it just looks weird. And maybe it's just weird for us because we're not used to seeing them so happy. Yeah, right. It's just it's funky, you know.
It's like a smile from here on down, but then still the dead eyes from here on up.
You know, it's not even. It's just like the moment doesn't even feel right either. It's just like with Paul Rudd and Ant-Man, I'm gonna go fight Thanos. No, I don't want that. I don't want that face. No, be menacing. But whatever, it's Paul Rudd. What are you gonna do? But yeah.
Commander Green thinks it'll be fine when it's released, so he's not too worried about it.
Yeah, he's gonna need some
Hulk
cream for that skin.
David says Hulk had the purrs. I don't remember that.
Does it?
Which Hulk?
Well, he's right. He is right. I mean, I have a Gladiator Hulk. He does have purse. That's a good point.
Oh, the Gladiator does.
Thanks for taking away.
Interesting.
Yeah, thanks for taking away my smarty answer there, David. Appreciate that.
Dang it.
Look at me, all sophisticated. Then David's like, well, actually,
we got the fact checkers in here. That's good. No, it's good. Keep us accountable, guys.
Keeping me honest here. Okay.
Oh, this is probably the comment of the night. I love that head sculpt because Fabs hates it. I like that. That's good.
There he goes.
Get him going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Sales are going up.
Oh, this is a good one. Would you like Hot Toys to release a Nurse Joker or Bank Robber 3.0? Yes, please.
Yes, the answer is just yes.
Yeah, 3.0 would be great. A Nurse Joker would be amazing as well. But first, I think we got to get that 3.0 normal Joker. I want to see Hot Toys, you know, build off of the DX11 and make it even better. I want to compare it to InArt and see, you know, which one I like better. I think that would be interesting to do. So hopefully we can get that. I would say maybe this year, an announcement, but who knows?
Never say never.
I mean, they just gave us Bane, so unless they're gonna go back and give us like some of the side characters and redo those, but it's almost like, are you gonna wait for Joker all the way until the end, or are you just kind of
Yes,
just give them
absolutely.
to
That is
us
a
like
strategy. No, that is 100% a strategy. Like there's absolutely right now the inner Joker. There's so much praise for that figure. Honestly, it would be stupid for Hot Toys to do it right now because you're going with direct competition with a company who has figures in stock to sell against your figure. Doesn't make sense. However, I love what they're doing. They released Catwoman. They've announced Bane now. I mean, all these Dark Knight, all these Dark Knight figures have more or less been around the same time. InArt announced that they were going to be doing a Joker. With the exception of a few, like which one? The Two-Face was already out there out of nowhere, so they had plans on doing it. But I think they adjusted their plans when they realized that there was going to be another Joker on the market. So they probably already have a 3.0 and they're just waiting to let the dust settle there. But why not capitalize on it there? Do Bane, do Scarecrow again, do Ra's al Ghul, do Commissioner Gordon. We had a tease of the Armory 2.0, the glass version of the Armory, if you guys recall that.
Do you like that one?
So I love that one. I think that one is that is so like cool. I like that one more than the whole mechanical kind of one. I think the glass one looks so sweet. Personally, I had the original one. I loved it, but I don't know. When I had it, I always said, I wish they did the one where it looked like this, and they teased it. And now I'm like, well, I kind of want it, So, but yeah, I think they're doing a great job. I think they're doing smart stuff, like getting everything else they can, because now everybody's excited about the Dark Knight trilogy again. And then when dust is settled and, InArt's moved on to, everybody from the Fellowship of the Ring, bam, throw out a Joker 3.0. Why not? Yeah. People will go ahead and buy it again. So I think they're doing some really good stuff with that.
We got 8-bit Flea in the house. What is going on? Payton says 2.0 camo tumbler. I mean, it'd be easy cash grab. You just released the normal tumbler, just do a paint job and then push more through. So I could see that happening too.
Sell more Banes.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, hey guys, thank you in the chat for obviously the topics here. Keep it coming. We're gonna move on to maybe a more lighthearted question for you, DLO. What do your friends or loved ones think about your collection? Do you ever have you kind of said your wife is supportive, but does she ever still just kind of roll her eyes at your collection or when you get a new figure in, or you ever have friends come over and you show them your room and they're just like, I don't get it. What do your friends or loved ones think about your stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, let's go back to the beginning. The first person I ever saw a figure of mine was my wife, right? So flashback to that didn't go very well at all. It was super like when I tell you the story of what she says to me, or what she used to say to me back in the day, it's very demeaning to us collectors. It's very insulting. But I would be in my room fixing up a figure, putting it on a new hand or whatever like that. And I'd look super intense and focused and doing it there. And then she'll come in, hey, just so you know, making spaghetti for dinner. And when are you going to be done playing with your baby dolls? I would get comments like that. Like, excuse me? Excuse what? What? Baby?
Get the hell out of
here. How dare you? How dare you? Meanwhile, this woman will spend hundreds of dollars in makeup. I don't say a word. She puts on her fake eyelashes and whatever she does with her money. But I buy a Tony Stank and suddenly I'm the weirdo, but whatever. But no, but honestly, outside of people from the community now, I didn't have any friends. I still don't have any friends that collect. The most I have is maybe a couple buddies who does the Funkos thing. That's never really been something that interested me. So whatever. But I come from a lot of hardcore football buddies from fantasy football leagues, and we drink liquor on the weekends. We smoke cigars and all, kind of like you there, Graham. But then they go see my house and they're like, dude, you're a
The hell are you
fucking
doing with
nerd."
yourself?
No, they're sure they're just like, you're a nerd, bro. Like closet ass nerd. And I get shit for that there. But but it's one of those things like over time, everybody seemed to kind of accept it. And now like somebody will come into the room and I was like, oh snap. Is that Arnold? Is that Terminator? Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's nice. It's nice that like, now when people come to the house and hang out, they come to the room. It's like, it's a talking point. It's something for us to all
Right.
conversate about there. So yeah, I mean, in the beginning, very hard to kind of share with people close to you because you're worried about their judgment. Over time, when you kind of let them in, people will surprise you and they they have a good time with it too.
Yeah, well, it's really nice that you do have the support from your wife because I don't necessarily have that. She doesn't. She
Dude, shouldn't
puts up
say
with
that,
it.
man. What? What's going on? Okay. Is your
She
wife a
puts up with it.
subscriber?
No.
Should we make the
So.
video private after we're done?
No, it's all good.
All right, cool. Cool.
I think. Cool. No, I mean, like, I think for her it's a waste of money, and she kind of still thinks that. So,
Sure.
it is what it is. I don't ever expect her to fully understand, but the fact that, she kind of lets me do it is, I guess, good enough for me. I don't understand some of the stuff she does either. So, I just kind of let it
Right.
slide. But I've had some friends come and look, and yeah, they're kind of like what you said, where they're like, oh my God, look at that detail in that. Like, I was just expecting these to be like action figures, like normal action figures or something. And, wow, look at that. That
Right.
looks like a real Batman or something. But I've gotten some other people that are kind of looking at it like, oh, that's cool. And then they kind of turn away and, go somewhere
Kind of
else.
move
Or
away. Like, yeah.
Yeah. My dad, he comes over, he's a big car guy, and he's really big on 89 Batman. So he did appreciate the 89 Batmobile and the Batman figures. And he'll like stand and just kind of, gaze. He's a very quiet guy. He'll kind of just kind of look, and I'll be like, yeah, like, look at this one. He's even got like this little detail, and he'll be like, yeah, it's really cool. I'm like, thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. So the fact that he kind of like
validation right there.
Yeah, just kind of stares at it and looks at it. But I mean, it would be fun if we had more people in our areas, I guess, that we kind of relate to in person. But it's nice that we have each other to kind of fall back on. But yeah, I mean, we sold our house in August, and my realtor thought it was like the coolest thing. And she was like, oh yeah, keep those in there. Like, I think that's a great selling point. Just maybe kind of lock them up if you can. But I've also had some people like prior to that, a couple years before that, we were looking to either sell or refinance, and our old realtor came and she was like, this is why we don't use her anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But she was like, that's a lot of stuff. I'd probably like pack that up and, like put it somewhere else. And, so like different people are kind of, have different, different opinions about it. But I always try to make it, I don't want to say minimal, but I guess kind of minimal. Like, I don't want it to be like, because I guess I don't want the wife to be upset about it either. So I kind of keep it minimal. So like, she's like, okay, that looks okay. Don't junk up the basement type of thing. And I'm like, all right, I'll stay in my lane here. But yeah,
I just think
I think there's some
jealous
people
who don't like do what we do, honestly. Because to me, I feel like, man, I had a kick-ass childhood. Saturday morning cartoons ring a bell.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Oh yeah.
Shooting your cousin with like a Nerf gun in the eye and like trying to calm him down before your parents realize, and he starts crying like, you're fine. All those like glorious memories we had there. We get to relive them as adults. Only spoiler, we make adult money now, and now we can buy whatever we want, and we can tell us we can't. So it's for the people who don't get what we do and why we do it. I can care less at this point, because to me it makes me happy. And you come to my house and you judge me for 30 seconds. Guess what? As soon as you're gone, I'm going to go back in the same room, look at every one of my badass figures that you just judged me on and say, fucking sweet, dude. I'm glad I'm going to get some more tomorrow.
Well, and I think most of my friends don't know about Hot Toys, but I also don't think a lot of them, I don't know. I think they don't know about it, but I think a lot of them like the same movies like I do. And I think that's kind of what a lot of mine's built off is the movies we watched as kids. So like that nostalgia feeling of bringing in that detailed 1/6 likeness into your collection that you can set up, you can just pose how you want, and there's something about it, and there's something about having kind of like it's almost like your whole childhood in these cases. And I mean, I was
Yeah,
watching
you're
Star Wars at
encapsulating it.
yeah. I mean, Batman 89 Batman was my first movie in the theater. Grew up on Star Wars. Marvel obviously was later in life, but it's still a different time
Sure.
period that we all loved. And I think it's just something special that, and that's why I liked Funko Pops before this. It was because it was kind of like the nostalgia of bringing in that franchise and having a piece of it. And now you can just have a much more detailed piece of it,
Right.
authentic. So,
Like 50 times more expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the nice thing about Funko. It was just like $10. Yeah. But
I just couldn't get into it, man. It was too kiddish for me personally. I'm sorry for Funko fans. I don't know. That if my wife came in and said baby dolls to that, I'd be like, yeah, I guess you're right.
At least I ain't Funko. All right, let's check in with the chat. See if you guys got any interesting stories here. Action in the Box says friends love it. Wife define limits. Space to show the exhibit, for example. Wife define limits. Can you understand that?
Friends love it. Wife defines limits. Yeah, I think that's clear as hell. Space to show an exhibit, for example. Okay. I think so. He's limiting the space that he's allowed to use, or at least there's an agree. It sounds like there's an agreement to limit the space there.
And that's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah, like maybe don't put Batman next to the china cabinet in the kitchen. I get it. Keeping.
I was watching a video. I was watching a video. It was because I'll just search collection tours, and I don't remember what the channel was, but the guy literally had his collection in his dining room. He's like, so he had shelves, and then they had like this table in the middle of the room, and he's like, it was like a multi-purpose room, but he was like, this is my office, this is where the kids play, and this is our dining room. And I showed my wife that. I was like, can you imagine me putting all these toys in the dining room? She's like, hell no, like that ain't gonna happen. But I'm like, that's pretty crazy too. Like,
you shot your shot, man. No, gosh,
man, I got shot down.
No, listen, I'm married to a 5'1" angry Puerto Rican woman. I would never try that ever. She scares the shit out of me. But I love her to death.
I kind of just want to put one on the fireplace mantle and just not say anything and see, like,
just kind of see,
like, what the hell's that? Why is that here?
Like as an experiment, like a safe experiment to see what happens.
Yeah,
right. Controlled environment.
My wife looks at me like I'm crazy. She hates it. I don't care. That's kind of where I'm at. So, yeah, I feel you there, brother. I like that.
I think we all. I feel like I was there too. It just eventually, like, it gets easier, I guess, if you talk about it openly. I don't know.
Sure.
Please don't get divorced. This is not the point of the stream.
We got Big Bretta. What is going on, Joao, my friend? How are you? He says, I wish I had friends that don't collect. That's the problem of living in this part of the world. So all your friends do collect. That's pretty crazy.
I can see the negative of that too. That's a lot of influencing right there.
That's true. That's true.
Like, could you imagine if you lived like sort of
and you see what they got?
No. Let's keep it on. Let's keep within our circle. Let's say if you had Fabs as your next door neighbor. Oh my God, could you imagine how broke you would be?
I don't think I could be his friend. I would just be like, I can't do this. Like,
for many reasons. Realtor back up. We need to move again and sell this one, please. Damn, neighbors are crazy around here.
I think the jealousy would factor into that too. You'd go to their house, they'd show you the new figure they got. You were like, well, I was going to wait, but now I see you have it. Now I need it. So that'd be tough.
That would be tough.
We do have 40 in the house here. So thank you guys for watching. If be so kind, hit that like button. And yeah, be active in the chat. You guys are doing awesome here. We got OG Mando. Says, my friends, they get hot toys, but they hate my collection because I have the stuff they want. There you go. So
there you go.
Just imagine.
Look at that. Yeah, they hate us because they hate us.
It's true. The wife was mad at first, but she know I love Star Wars. She came around with it. Yeah,
Good
I
for
think
you.
most of them they tolerate. They tolerate. Joel also asked if I'm getting the Jazzing Batmobile. No, man, I got too many things just hitting. Like I just can't afford a vehicle of that stature at this moment. I'm looking at this, and thanks to you, Joel, and your review of the Scissorhands figure. I want that one. I've pre-ordered. I'm waiting on the in-art Jokers. If I could pick a vehicle right now, it'd be that DeLorean. So that's still in the back of my mind to try to save up for that DeLorean somehow.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind
Same.
getting the Chrome Mando. There's a few figures, that I still want to get. So I think the Joker and the DeLorean are just two heavy hitters that I just can't think about the Jazzing Batmobile. Plus, I have a Batmobile, so it's pretty good. I'm wondering, D'Lo, what they could even do to really put this one to shame. I know you kind of had like maybe an idea
I had a
if Hot
sweet
Toys
idea.
ever did it, and
Right.
if you want to speak on it for a minute. But do you think there's anything that Jazzink is really going to do to blow it out of the water? The Hot Toys version.
I mean, it's a matter of preference here. I mean, the 89 you have, I mean, it's all plastic. Am I right?
Right.
Like as far as the
Yep.
one that you have behind you, and the Jazz Inc. one. I mean, what is one of the talking points that people are saying this thing has that's so great about it? Because I haven't watched it because I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to pay that kind of money. I'll be totally honest. I haven't even
Yeah,
paid attention because I don't
I'm
want to
not
pay it.
sure. I haven't seen the details outside of just when the pre-orders were going to be.
Okay.
So
Can
I try to
I
stay
drive
away.
it in real life?
Comes with its own remote. That'd be cool.
It comes with its own remote. Okay, cool.
Then you can,
Can I
you could
fit in
drive it.
this thing?
No.
Look, I'm gonna be sarcastic. I'm sure like people who want it, good for you guys. I mean, it's not for me. That's a lot of money that I could easily put towards something that, I can buy figure wise, I can help my collection. I mean, I don't know what the price is going for it, but let's say argument's sake, it's $1,000. I mean,
I thought it was
that can
15.
translate to maybe, is it 15? Jesus Christ, you guys are
I
rich.
thought so.
No. Well,
Because
either
you could
way,
get the DeLorean and the in-art 2-pack for that, the sculpted hair.
but that's
Same
the
price.
thing. Like you can use so many examples of like how many other things that are out there. You can get the gantry that we're talking about. You can get 2 of those bad boys.
You could get a whole line of something probably. Of like Mando or something.
Easily, man. You can buy what 4 or 5 of the new Spider-Mans that are coming out right now from the line, or whatever.
But at the same
Doc
time,
Ock and
the 89 Batmobile on the secondary market is going for $1,100 to $1,500. So I guess if you're not sure that Hot Toys is really reissuing that, and then you're like, well, I really want one, I could see, this is kind of like your shot to kind of get one. So I guess it makes sense in that aspect, for what it's going for in that price range. But still, just I have one, I don't need it.
Right. And again, I'm not bashing whoever's going to do that there. I mean, me personally, I'm not a vehicle person just because it requires a lot of space, and B, there are a lot of money that I could put towards, figures that, are on my list that I want. So, but I don't know. I just think that, I mean, the DeLorean is going to be what, $800, give or take. The DeLorean,
yeah, $825.
So, I mean, that's nearly double the price of that there. I mean, I would rather, have a DeLorean and then order the rest of the Back to the Future line to go with it. You know what I mean? And then I would have a nice complete set of something there. But I mean, I'm a huge Batman fan as well too, just like Graham is, and I can see the appeal of wanting to have a representation of the Batmobile in your collection, because in my opinion, the 89 Batmobile is the best Batmobile we've ever had in movies, as well too. So I
agree.
don't blame you guys. I don't blame you guys at all.
High five.
But it's gonna be a
wait. I'll go
no for a chance. It's like prison glass between us right now. Yeah. Just like
Commander Green says he's never worried what people think about his collection. As far as my family, my wife and kids love it, and my wife has even let me take our living room because our house is smaller. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Keep that one. I will say, for the most part, my kids do enjoy it as well. I have 2 girls, and they're interested short periods of time, but they like coming in and playing the game of when they were younger, like good guy, bad guy, or let's pick your favorite in each cube type of thing, or gently helping me pose a figure, or, just kind of being a part of it. So it's cool that I can somewhat share that with them. They like the Wonder Woman figure that I got, but at the same time, it only holds their attention for a few minutes, but it's nice that I can kind of share that with them. Oh, what is this? OG Mando's pre-ordering, I think, that Batmobile.
Nice.
It's crazy. My SO wasn't born in this country. Oh, significant other. So she does not understand it at all, but she supports it at least, and that's all you can ask for. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole thing with a significant other, is they're not always going to understand your passions, but as long as they kind of accept it or tolerate it or don't make you feel like total crap about it, then you're okay. But
I mean, the flip side is, like, we could, Graham, like you and I, we can be at a bar right now. We can go out clubbing, chasing some ladies,
Right.
doing some nefarious things. We are
yeah.
dressing our 1/6 figures, and we are combing our rooted hair figures.
DLO and I are on the phone together. What figure are you working on right now? Oh, I'm just futzing with golden armor, Wonder Woman hair. Awesome, man.
Things are about to get crazy. Little Black Widow action tonight.
I'm gonna go real dynamic tonight. Yeah.
Shut up. No, you won't. You so will.
The thing that converts my friends into liking a figure is holding a die-cast Iron Man. Yeah, holding a figure too is just like, whoa, this is pretty.
There's
crazy.
nothing like that. The first one. Yeah, I feel that one.
I don't bring anyone into my collection room, but my kids like to show it off, and sometimes my wife shows it off even though she doesn't get it. Well, that's cool though. I mean, because that means she's somewhat proud of you in the back of her mind. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I do it for me. I mean, yeah, that's really what it's about. Like, most of us are working people that have significant others, maybe kids. Life gets really busy and you're kind of living for somebody else. So it's just nice to at least do something for yourself, here and there. So, yeah.
For sure.
All right. It was Super Friends Saturday morning and BB guns for me. Got OG fan in here. What is going on, OG fan? Yeah, I remember I remember Doug. I remember
Doug.
I don't think Gargoyles was ever Saturday mornings, but I remember that, watching that on Saturday mornings.
That was a
Transformers, Power Rangers.
Dude, they had a whole bunch of that. What, Beetleborgs? What, they had so many other wild things out there. I can't even think of all.
Darkwing Duck.
Dude, like 80s, 90s, hands down, best cartoons. Oh, hands down. I watch one of my kids' cartoons today.
They watch YouTube.
Freaking play.
Kids playing with toys.
Play Fortnite. They learn Fortnite dances.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I remember, we'd watch cartoons all morning, and then, we'd start cleaning the house or doing chores and stuff after that. But God, it's
for sure.
I remember the theme song for the Saturday morning cartoons. So
right. A lot of stuff.
Collection is memories and nostalgia. That's what it's all about. That's what it's for me. Is I gotta have that love for the character, and that's why I'm selective with what I'm going to get, because I gotta have that passion. Otherwise, it's not worth my money, because it is, such an expensive hobby. Bought a couple Funkos at the beginning, but couldn't get over the fact that they all had the same faces. Pretty much just wasn't for me. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the gateway drug, though. I mean, it starts you collecting something, kind of like maybe Black Series or Marvel Legends does, but they were so cheap that it was easy to collect, but then it leaves you kind of wanting more, and then you stumble upon Hot Toys and you're just like, oh shit.
It's true.
Oh, he's got the headquarters by him. Jables, you're in Washington, right? Because I think he's a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Oof. My condolences.
Yeah. Condolences to you, sir.
Moment of
It's your
silence for Jables.
childhood. That's- All right, everybody. Thank you for that. That's why I collect nostalgia. Still have my G.I. Joes from the early 80s, and I display them. That's cool. Oh, man, you guys. It's hard to even keep up with you guys in the chat. Oh, this is a good question. Who do you think has more figures, Justin or Fabs? It's close. I'll tell
Is
you
it
this.
though? I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but okay.
Who do you think has more?
Well, you first. You were going with that. Let's see what you got to say. I'm curious. I'm more curious to say what you got to say.
I don't know, because Fabs has a lot of duplicates.
He does. He does have quite a lot of duplicates. This is true. Do we count the duplicates in this argument, or do we?
I think he's been collecting since before Justin
was born, most likely. Sure, because he's old as hell. Fabs, that is.
That's tough. I don't know. I think it's
tough.
I think it's close.
I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. I mean, I don't know Justin, but I admire his work.
Justin
He does.
has more.
I don't think so. I don't.
No?
I know. Listen, I know he's on the payroll and he can get whatever figure he wants, but I still don't think he beats Fabs. I think Fabs is, in my opinion, I think he's the winner. I really do. I really do. Yeah, I gotta say he probably has maybe almost double probably him. I mean, because he has, number one, he has an encyclopedic memory of everything in his collection, which is incredible because I forget everything in mine. And yeah, like you said, he has doubles, he has third parties, he has, I mean, you name it. Like yeah. So I don't know. I think Fabs wins by a landslide. And that's an awesome question.
Really something just hit me too that I just thought about. Where the hell does he put all the boxes for that many figures? He's got to have what, 2 rooms stacked to the ceiling that are just, I don't think he's doing any storage areas.
Well, as you know, it's a good question. As you know, Fabs is a 1%er, as I always like to say. So I'm assuming his house is so big that he has 2 full-size bedrooms just for his boxes. Just for boxes.
Man, that's insane. And here I am, ashamed that I'm taking up a whole closet under the stairs that I could be using for other storage. And I'm like, this is stupid that I have all these boxes here. But can you imagine having that many boxes as Fabs? That's real life rich problems right there. So
for real.
Godspeed, Fabs.
Imagine just going to Mrs. Fabs and be like, honey, I've run out of room. We're just going to have to sell this house and buy another one bigger this time.
Or I just got to buy a house to store all these boxes in.
No, I'm just going to build an in-law suite, but your mom's not invited. It's for my figures.
My wife says it could be worse. At least you're not doing drugs or beating me. Gosh.
God,
that's true.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you, Nightside. Well, that's definitely the glass.
I didn't see that coming.
For sure.
Yeah.
You took. Wasn't ready for that one.
Joel says Fab's easy as well. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, is the module case you have back there a 6/165? So mine are the 6/110s, and then these over here are the DF-120s, and I believe all of them that DLO has back there are the DF-120s.
That is correct.
So these are not going to be as tall or as deep, but they're pretty good for 6 scale figures. Wife is great, but knows what to look for now. Recognizes new characters on the display. I think she's listening. Yeah, who knows how many of us are actually like wired right now and just like tapped.
That's true. I feel like honestly, this is probably like the most like. You got 44 in the chat right now. It wouldn't surprise me if you have 22 collectors and 22 wives watching right now.
What are you doing?
This could be the most. This, quite frankly, could be probably the most family-oriented toy collecting stream ever. I feel like so much for us to relate.
We're bringing
to
families
right
together here, DLO.
You know,
we're bringing families together.
They're like, you see, hun, they got a problem too. It's not just me. You're welcome. Because I do have
somebody that I really like in the community too is Marco from 16 Fix, because wherever he
guy.
is too, Gigi, his wife, seems to trail behind him and kind of chime in.
Yeah.
And what are you talking about here? And that's a funny show too. Like they have She Said No podcast where pretty much just come on together and they just banter back and forth and stuff. I saw the one episode too where he was trying to negotiate a new um basically a new budget for his figures, because he has to put anything he buys, he has to put, I think, the same amount into their vacation fund or whatever extra spending fund. And he was trying to like finagle a deal to get some sort of like bigger budget for himself. So it was fun. Go check him out if you guys haven't already. In order to convince my wife that action figures are cool, I have her favorite character, Jon Snow, and a warrior woman that I say it it is her. Whatever we got to do, man. I mean, whatever we got to do to get that A-OK.
I love this.
not above
I love hearing
anything.
this. No, listen, I love hearing this because you see this a lot more. Like, you know, you hear a comment like, "Oh yeah, you know, I bought Jason Momoa's Aquaman because my wife loves him there," but you low key got a figure out of it there. That's like super genius, guys. Like, I don't know who was the first one to do it, but I applaud you guys. That's like a collector hall pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can have the figure because you like this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny that like we make those like purchases with our wives in mind, just because like, well, she won't complain about, you know, oh, Chris Hemsworth over there, look, you know. So I think it's funny that we do stuff like that.
Okay. I think we got some maybe some Batmobile details here. The whole interior is going to light up. You could get a hold of the proportions of the fins are going to be correct. Wheels are going to be correct. It's going to have fire effect and smoke. Is this accurate? Little fog machine in the back end?
What do you mean fire? I need elaboration on this here. Will this thing have like some kind of a torch in the back? Because I will revisit my original thoughts on this.
It seemed like that wouldn't be safe in a collector's display.
No, I mean, if it does fire effects and smoke, I'm taking that outside. I'm like, is it like kind of RC-ish as well too? Like, is it like, can I control it and drive it?
That'd be interesting. So
if I can
Jable
drive it,
says
that changes my mind on a lot of things.
Yeah, but if you're paying that kind of money, would you want to drive it?
I've wanted to drive the Batmobile 89 my whole life. Graham, like, well, I mean, no doubt in my mind, I'll take what I can get.
Fair enough. So 1,500 and 285 shipped. Oof. Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow.
That's a spicy meatball.
Look who we got here. We got a little Austin Nicholas in the chat. Well, thank you, my friend. What's going on, Papa Swole? Let's see. Interior light up. Yeah, so we said. Yep, some people are just waiting for the Hot Toys 2.0. Oh, okay. Here we go. My girlfriend is very supportive. Well, that's just great, Austin. We're glad that you found somebody that loves doing it with you. No, he's told us about that. Yeah, he's told us about that and how like she'll like unbox figures with him and buys figures for him and stuff like that. My wife, when we were newlywed, she would buy me football stuff. But then, you know,
that's cool.
Married for however many years, and you know, kids come along, so you know, that kind of fades.
Now she can't stand the way you chew your food.
Yeah, right. Or that I come to bed late and wake her up. So yeah, I got Riley reviews. I know, it's like, well, I can't be any quieter. Like, I can't help you wake up to everything. What's going on, Riley, the young wizard?
She won't wake up.
Yeah,
but
right.
if I open the door slightly, it's just like, what the hell is your problem, Danny?
So, I try not to breathe for like the first 5 minutes, you know, like
smart,
kind of slowly sink in, but it doesn't work. So, hey, Riley's a mod. Yeah, I trust Riley. Brad, aren't you a mod? I thought I made you one too. But let's see here. You guys, we're catching up, man. I'm kind of far behind, and we really haven't even talked about a lot of our topics, but it's because you guys are keeping us going here. So, Justice League. All right. Okay. Yep. Jables is definitely a Hawks fan. That's okay. Except for that fail Mary. That was BS. I will say that. Also, the 17 championship game. I'll never forget that either. God bless it. How are you doing with your Giants? Are you over that now?
I don't want to talk about that. I appreciate we just change the subject, please. Thank you.
All right, Fabio. Yeah, Fabio 2-3 of each copy. I got to pose them with everything on them, different head sculpts and everything. All right, here we go. Do you guys get rid of boxes? Never.
No, I never do.
As much of a pain. Yeah.
I would, but I know you guys want it when I have to sell it. So I lose fun fact, you lose 50% of the value if you throw all those boxes. So I keep them.
Yep. And that's a good reason to keep the boxes and the shippers. Shippers, do you think they lose value without a shipper? That's the question.
I'm about to get my shippers graded.
So yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
I don't sell a discount. I don't sell at a discount if I don't have a shipper. But I do note I don't have the original shipper. But I don't think it should. Yeah. It's the shipping box. And some collectors get so stuck in their ways about that shipper box. I'm just like, it's a cardboard box.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's so weird. It's just one of those things that we get here in the States, but everywhere else they don't get it. So I don't know why
that's true.
We have such a fascination with it.
The only thing I like it for is I can easily ship a figure out if I am getting rid of it. Just put it in, tape it up, and put a label on it. So
perfect.
Other than that, I could care less. And maybe maybe too because it just helps protect the art box. So that's nice to have it for that reason too. But I don't see it as the end all. But yeah, I would definitely. I know it's tough, and we complain about keeping the boxes somewhere. But if you have like under a bed or in a closet or somewhere you could just shove these boxes. I would, depending on where you live, I wouldn't recommend like out in a garage just because temperature with it fluctuating is probably not a good idea. But basement, closet, something like that. Where do you keep yours? Just an extra closet storage?
Yeah, just closet off screen right now. Right there. It's stacked to the top.
It's tough. Everyone's doors are about to get kicked in. The jig is up. Daniel knows what's up. He says, hit that like button, everybody. Thank you for promoting Jedi Knights Watch, Daniel. GG gets Marco's notices and beats him in the screen. Beats him to the stream. Yep.
Too good. I got to catch episodes of that.
This is one we could touch upon, but it's kind of a sensitive subject. Does anyone really tell their wife how much they spend on hot toys? No. I never tell her the price. I try not to use our own money, but sometimes it happens. But I try to use the collection to fund the collection, use the couple dollars I get from YouTube to put towards a figure. I do get work bonuses too, so I try to just put that towards it. But yeah, I don't think that would go over well. I mean, she knows. She's not stupid. She knows they're not cheap. But I just don't ever want to like out myself, I guess. Hey, honey, just so you know.
Yeah, you should totally delete this stream. We're getting deep now.
Next.
Honestly, what's the point, really? I mean, if anyone who's actually in a relationship of any kind, telling the truth will never solve anything. I don't know why you even bother. So yeah, just I already had this figure. This was on sale. I pre-ordered this a year ago. Pick your poison.
I won a contest.
If it's not broken, they'll fix it. I won a contest. Right. I won a raffle from Fabs.
Oh, you win a lot of contests. Yeah.
Yeah. Just lucky.
Shang-Chi and Wenwu dropping tonight? I have no clue. I don't ever try to predict when things are coming out or dropping. Maybe like obviously Wonder Woman we kind of knew was coming somewhat soon just because, well, A, it's been out. It was for pre-order forever. B, they had it on that image of things to come, so it was kind of easy. But I don't ever try to mislead you guys with guessing that kind of stuff. But DLO, if you want to take a crack at it.
Yeah, I'm not a YouTuber, so the answer is yes, it will. You heard it here first.
I do have his IG
No,
in the description below if you guys want to follow him. So.
Thank you, Graham. Appreciate that. Yeah. DLO The Collector on IG.
Sluggin16 in the chat. What's up, fellow collectors? What's up? Thanks for stopping in. We got 48 in the house here, guys. Let's get to 50. And let's hit that like button. I watched the 3rd episode a bit ago. DLO, are you watching The Last of Us?
Oh, yeah. Great show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
So good.
So it sounds like they want to do multiple seasons. Do you think they're going to finish the first game in season 1, or do you think they're going to stretch this out? I haven't played the game for years, so I'm vaguely remembering it.
They've been, to their credit, like super faithful to the game so far, without spoiling anything for anybody who's watching it now. And as far as to answer your question, I guess it all depends. I mean, how long they want this show to run for, because things happen in other games as well too. So pretty short seasons of expectancy, I would imagine there. So I think to get their bang for their money, maybe they do stretch it out a little bit. It seems like they sort of are. If you've seen the last episode this past Sunday, it seems like they're going to be filling in parts of the game that weren't filled out then. So you never know. But for now, I'm just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's fun to see some scenes where they're like right from the video game, but I couldn't remember the backstory on last night's episode. So, like I said, I don't think I've played the game since like 2015-ish. So it's been a while. So some of those memories have faded, but man, it's such a great game. And so far the show is really good. So if anybody hasn't seen The Last of Us on HBO, go check it out, especially if you're a gamer. Just really cool to kind of see that come to life. And for anybody that does game, that's really hard to kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes to bringing a video game to the big screen or the small screen, whatever you want, the silver screen. It just hasn't been easy to do. So far it's been really good. Oh no. We'll get Daniel tosses the shipper boxes in the recycle bin. For
Unbelievable.
shame.
Throw out the whole figure now. It's worthless. Mail it to me.
On a serious note, though, Daniel, why not just keep them and put the art boxes inside of them? Because they don't really take up much more space. So I'm just curious on what the thought process is of throwing them out. Oh, here we go. I'll give you the fail, Mary. I was at that championship game. Greatest game I ever got to attend. I apologize. That's awesome for you, but yeah, it's terrible for me. So that's cool, though. That's a great memory to have. The only playoff game I've been to is when we lost to DLO's Giants in 2011. So that was fun for me. Yeah. Very cold.
Go G-Men.
Sobered up during the game, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I did go to the Seahawks-Packers game in 2016 when we beat the hell out of them. So that was cool. Let's see. I'm lucky to have a supportive wife who is into Star Wars. Since that's all I collect, it makes it easy. Just got my youngest son into 3-0 Naruto line. That's pretty cool too. That I know DLO, you have a son. Is he? I don't know, how old is he?
He's 10.
Is he into your stuff too, or you tell him to kind of keep away?
Oh no, not at all. He hates all my stuff. Like
really
the Star Wars stuff and all that. Yeah, that's just not his bag at all. I tried. But the Naruto thing he just mentioned right now for his kid, funny enough, that is what my son is into too. So anime style stuff. Yeah, so
all right.
But yeah, Star Wars, no. Marvel, no. DC doesn't care. Could care less. The only thing he likes is Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
So which is cool though.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was always really like cars are his thing. And
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it. I was always into sports. We do share the common ground with some of these movies, but even still, he's just cars are his number one. And I think he was always maybe a little sad that I never got into it like he did. And we just don't share that bond. Um, so I was like, well, I hope my kids like like, it'd be nice if one of my daughters would watch football with me, but I'm not going to like make them or, they're going to like
Right.
their own thing. So I get that too. Kids, they just kind of find their way and they find the things that like, they like. And we as parents, I think we always have that dream that, hey, it'd be fun to do this together, but it doesn't always work out that way. But you still have it for yourself, right?
Yeah, it's true. And it's all about tablets today with kids,
Oh, yeah.
tablets and all that stuff there. But it's funny. There's a YouTuber by the name of Big Dub. Some people may know of him, some may not. He's a good dude, based out of Atlanta. But he has a series that he's going on right now. I recommend somebody watch it, where he goes, where we brainwash as kids. And what he talks about, how we had like Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Mhm.
And the whole platform for morning cartoons was just a way for us to get advertisement for toys and stuff like that. And that's how we as adults now have this like addiction to figure collecting and stuff like that. And I found it very interesting. He kind of connected the dots together. He goes, now the reason why was because it was easy because parents, we're not in trouble, we're not making any noise. They put us in front of that there. So now us today parents, we put tablets in front of our kids, and now it's one of those things where like, okay, well, we're not worried about what they're doing because they're right in front of me and just being quiet. So
Turns them into
interesting take on
animals.
stuff like that. Yeah, well, I think Saturday morning cartoons turned me into animal too.
It's
I
true.
did
I
a
mean,
lot of
it
stuff
really isn't.
afterwards.
It's not too much different. I mean, I was always in front of a TV playing video games too. So I mean, it's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not too much different.
for
Here's a
sure.
question for you. Recommend getting Modu cases directly from Moducase or from Big Bad Toy Store or Sideshow?
Say
I always buy
neither.
mine direct.
Yeah, same. I had a wonderful experience with Brian over there in Maja Space. Very nice guy. I mean, he's the CEO of his company, yet he's still talking to his clients, as if he's a startup, and they've been around for many years, and they've improved the process of how to get these devices manufactured for us and yet get them delivered. I know that's the biggest concern with 1 million people right now, but they're making a conscientious effort to make things faster, which is great. But I'll tell you, I had recently bought mine, installed them, and I had an issue with my lighting. One of my plugs was not doing so hot, and this was a week ago. This happened. I contacted him on Friday, and he apparently shipped it out to me during Chinese New Year, and I just got my replacement for it that fast. And I thought for sure that because Chinese New Year I wasn't going to get anything at all. Brian took it upon himself to make sure I got it there as soon as possible. I had zero expectation of that, but he was nice enough to do that for me. And again, I'm no YouTuber. I'm just a customer like everybody else would be. And it's just nice to show, like, if you deal with somebody direct, sometimes you get better customer service in those situations there. So I say if you're in the hunt for them, get them direct.
I agree. And it is crazy how like Brian, yeah, like typically in a company like this, you would never hear from somebody in his position.
No.
You'd be lucky if you can even talk to somebody live. Like you just get like that number and you'd call and you're like, can I just talk to somebody? And it's like with him, you can be like, dude, I got this problem, and he fixes it right away. Or, he works with
Yeah.
you. And even with Fabs, he's helping him draw up what he wants to do. It's like, guy doesn't have to do that. Yeah, I would recommend going direct. And even the way that I actually met Brian, I think, was my first shipment got delayed and I just got an email from support and I wrote back and I was just like, oh, I'm really bummed. I was looking forward to reviewing it. And then Brian emails me. So it's like, oh. So I mean, yeah, I would go direct, but I mean, I guess it's a different story if Sideshow or Big Bad Toy Store had it in stock and you could just maybe get it right away. That'd be a different story, but I don't
Sure.
think that's the case.
You got to figure if you go through them, then they're still going to have to contact Brian anyway. So why not get the middleman
True.
out and just get to the source?
Right. Oh, we got Marco in the house here. He must have his ears must have been burning as we were talking about him. So he's showing up, and he says also, how is Riley a mod and I'm not? Oh boy, we're getting some jealousy kicking in here. Just so you
Infighting with the
know,
boys.
you have been made a moderator, so don't let me down in the chat, please. Although we haven't had the booty bots in quite a while, so I guess that's a good thing. And everybody usually behaves pretty well on my streams. You guys are all mature, responsible adults, and I appreciate that. Oh, here we go. Rachel and I will always keep our money separate, so I wouldn't have to. She goes on Sideshow and looks through, so she's aware because she buys for you. So that's nice.
There you go.
There you go.
Doesn't eat up your like short sleeve shirt budget you have to.
Do you find it where you get so like cheap on other things though because you are buying these toys? Like you don't buy new clothes.
Oh, for sure.
You don't buy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My socks have holes in them, and I'm just like,
there's only
can't
one
afford
hole in this
socks.
pair of underwears. I got another 2 years in these easily.
The hole's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can just piss right through it.
I know.
No, but like
called for an air conditioner.
I'm wearing the same shorts for like years, and like I got holes in them too, and it's just like I can't afford shorts, but you got all this behind you, you know.
Well, I mean that's the funny thing too, because I mean I have a second sub hobby to this here with the kit bashing, right? And you know they got a sweet Daft Toys Bruce Wayne suit. What's that? It's $125. Done. You know, I need a new like shirt, $50. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off for a deal. Revisit this on Black Friday or something. You know, so it's like
it's true though.
My priorities
are really
jacked
funny way of
up.
looking at it. You're buying these little suits and you can't afford a new pair of underwear.
Bruce Wayne has a sweet 3-piece pinstripe suit, and I'm over here rocking a shirt that's definitely I don't fit in anymore. So
these aren't figures.
Yeah,
these are my children. I'm buying clothes for them.
Yeah.
OG fan says better to ask
if I'm a good father.
Forgiveness. Yeah. Better ask for forgiveness than permission. I learned that at work sometimes too. Sometimes you just do something and then you ask for forgiveness. Justin is looking at going to ModuCase. The website shows a turnaround of January orders for June, July. How realistic is that? I would say not very. I don't think they've shortened their turnaround time to this point. I know they've talked about it, but I don't see that as happening. If Riley's still in, Riley, have you gotten your order from November of 2021 yet? I mean, that's some people have been waiting a while. I think it depends on the size of your order too, though. I would assume smaller orders, maybe they just push out quicker.
Well, mine was a November order for 2021, so I have mine.
And you just got yours
a
few weeks ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll let you answer this one. Is Sideshow ever getting Avengers Campus Spider-Man? I need it.
I don't know. I'm going to have to get back to you on that there. Let me talk to the president of Sideshow later on. No, Lewis, but I don't know, bud. We have no inside information on that kind of stuff there. I hope they do get it just because you want it and I want you to have it, but I don't know the answer, bro. Lewis seems like a good dude.
Season 2 got the green light the other day for The Last of Us. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to go into the second video game or if they're going to stretch this out. It'll be interesting to see. I was at the Giants and New England championship game.
Whoa.
Must be Super Bowl. Awesome moment, experience, and very expensive. Yes. If you were at a Super Bowl, I can only imagine how expensive that was.
Wow.
But how cool to say that you could attend a game like that. That's really cool.
That's sick. Cool.
Austin says his dad was always into cars. I think that's the big reason I bought his 67 Mustang. I actually do have a 76 Trans Am, 455 4-speed. It's called Fire Engine or Carousel Red, but it's like an orange. My dad and I were supposed to do that together, but it's mostly him kind of doing it for me, and it's very slow. He's been working on it for years, but hopefully we put it together and I can get it on the road in the next year or two, because I think we're getting closer to paint. So, but yeah, I've always been a fan of Trans Ams by Pontiac, with the big bird on the
Ooh.
hood, like
Oh yeah,
Smokey and the Bandit type of thing.
Burt Reynolds, baby.
And my dad's into GTOs. He's got two 69 GTOs. One's a convertible. Both are stick shift. So that was actually, when I was a kid, I actually learned stick shift first. He took me on every hill in the country, and we started going up the hill and down the hill, and you clunk it out and do it again. And my first car was a 1985 Firebird, and it was a 5-speed. And it was a really nice car. It was only like a V6, but it was a nice car to have it. We repainted it, and it was a fun car, but put a lot of miles on it too. So, what was your first car, DLO?
Damn. My first car? Okay. So my first car was like it's a Ford Thunderbird. It's like a 95.
Okay.
So no, it's not. It wasn't okay. This is like
one of my good buddies had a Thunderbird too.
But it's not. This is the 95. This is like the big heavy body, kind of looks like a Lincoln Town car, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got it for $500. I had a pearlescent paint job on it there, and the reason why I'm smiling when I'm talking about this car is that it's not that there was anything necessarily like wrong with the car. It drove just fine, but it was very high profile because of the paint job. So and it had like rims on it already too ahead of time. So true story. That car was the car I got pulled over the most in, because I mean you can put two and two together what the customer thought was going on in that car. Loud music, flashy paint job, license registration. Oh, why'd you bring the dogs this time? Interesting. What's going on?
So, were you into like putting the stereo in the car and putting the subwoofers and all that stuff? Because that was what we did.
No, that
come on.
No, everybody did that. I mean, no. I grew up poor, dude. I mean, this was like very early on. DLO was like working like minimum wage, barely could. Yeah, like DLO didn't have a choice. Figures were not going to happen back then. But no, man. I mean, I honestly I grew up in the city and grew up in New York, and I didn't get my license until I moved to Florida. So I was so used to taking trains and all that stuff. The car thing never got to me there until I decided, because I wanted to be cool. I traded in the Ford Thunderbird, which she was a good car to me. I mean, too many tickets, but it was a good car to me. I got a green Mitsubishi Eclipse that looked like the one from the Fast and Furious movie, the first one, with the carbon fiber hood and all that stuff like that there. Yeah. That thing broke down on me like every month. Yeah. But it looked cool.
I also had, because I had that Firebird, so I couldn't drive it in the winter because it was just terrible. So up here in Wisconsin, I had to have a winter car. I had a 94 Cavalier, just this red little beater, had like a glass pack on the back. I remember the Cavalier. I bought it for like $500. I bought it and I didn't even know it had no heater core at the time. So I'm driving it around in like January, and we got the windows open because it's not helping anyway. So I had to get that fixed. But yeah, that was like a beater car. I would hit everything I could. Man, I think I ran over a Christmas tree on the side of the road. Accidentally hit did I hit with a pheasant or something like that? That was an accident, by the way, but I just treated that car like piss because I'd put no money into it and I didn't really care. So yeah, I was stupid. I was young. Hey, there's a Christmas tree. Let's run it over. Deal's like I've lost
young, full of hair. I mean, whatever. Smoking cigarettes in a leather jacket. What else?
Roll them up in my sleeve, man. Jables knows what's up. The Trans Am. The Last of Us episode from last night wasn't in the game. Just letting you guys know. Yeah, it was, so kind of like what
Yeah,
D'Lo
no, I
said. They're
saw
kind
it.
of building. They're building
They're
into
fleshing it out,
right.
tweaking things here and there. But it was a good show.
You know,
Good
and
episode.
however, whatever your political or religious views or whatever that are, I thought last night's episode was really good though. So it was really well done. Pontiac Fire Chicken, yeah. My order from Module Space was pretty big. I placed the order in October of 2021. Like I said, I got like a week ago. Hopefully, they streamline the process, speed up their turnaround times. I know it's been talked about, but I know that doesn't happen overnight either. My first car was a tractor. I lived on a farm at the time. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends, too, that lived on farms or worked on farms, they've been driving since they were like 5 years old. So, yeah, I know how that goes. Cops knew you were going to get into figure collecting.
Oh my gosh, we don't like your kind around here.
I think we finally caught back up with the chat. That was pretty impressive, guys. You guys had a lot of good stuff here. So I don't think we're gonna have time for all of our topics just because we've had this really good chat, you know, with all of you. But there is a couple more things, or at least one more thing, if we have time for. Let's see, D'Lo, I'm gonna leave it up to you. I'm gonna let you pick this next one, so we can either talk about how long do you need to own a figure before it's considered a successful purchase. We can just browse Sideshow and take a look at the bestsellers and just, you know, bullshit back and forth, you know, what surprises us, what doesn't. We can talk about how Hot Toys has changed. Hot Toys collecting has changed since you started, maybe more specifically in the last 3 years since COVID hit. Or we can just continue asking for some questions from the chat for a little bit. Anything you see here that you... Oh, we did that one.
Tell you what, I'm gonna leave it up to chat. We're not gonna do Q&A because that's technically what we're gonna be doing anyways. But what does the chat want us to talk about? If that's cool, if I can feel like I'm like phoning a friend over here.
Yes.
Chat, what do you guys want to do? Sideshow bestsellers. What was the other ones? How
long do you need to own a figure before you consider it, you know, kind of worth the purchase, I guess?
Okay. I like that. It's a good question.
How has Hot Toys collecting changed since we started?
Had more
Or
hair.
we can just browse Sideshow and kind of talk about figures.
Let's see.
We will wait in silence until you guys until you guys let us know what you want to do.
All right, first one came in was Sideshow bestsellers. The first one that came up.
Sideshow bestsellers. Anybody else want to chime in quickly?
Bestsellers, 2 for the bestsellers, 3 for bestsellers. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Anybody else? Is there no one else? Bestsellers. Let's go bestsellers.
Is there no one else? All right. What is that from?
You got the reference.
From something.
What
is that from? Tell me, and I'll be pissed that I don't remember.
Bro.
Oh yes.
Are you not entertained? Come on, that's a. All right. Boop boop boop. Sideshow.
All right, guys. So these are figures that are available right now.
Sorry, best card kid just came in.
Feet, he says. Very good. Oh yeah, it's from Troy. D'Lo, come on.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's one of those like freaking.
I remember that because I just watched that recently, so I was like, what is that from? That's good.
Yeah.
Good job. 1/6 fig.
That's
very
true.
Good.
It's true.
Achilles.
Way to show me up. 1/6 fig.
Well, that's twice now, D'Lo. That's twice now
in one stream. No one makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody. Dodgeball. All right. So guys, these are the figures that are available right now on Sideshow, and these are listed as the best sellers. Does anything jump off the page at you, D'Lo, right off the bat? Like that's just kind of like a surprise. That like, because I'll just say right now, I'm surprised Captain Rex is the #1 seller.
Yeah, for sure.
Things kind of flown under the radar.
Well, I think it has to do with just kind of influx of sales that we've been having lately. And I mean, I'm looking at the ones that are at the top right now. I mean, the top 4 I see here, you have Rex, Skywalker, Captain America, and Batman. All have been discounted, all have been advertised with free shipping or $5 shipping, whatever they're offering there. The new kids in the block here, Spider-Man integrated suit, excuse me. I mean, that one, no surprise there. But what is surprising though is that this is not the deluxe. This is not the one with the diorama piece to it there. You notice that? This is the regular version.
Right.
Very, very
That's
interesting
a good
there. Yeah, that's the only kind of make.
I know some of you collectors out there are deluxe or die, but I think sometimes too, especially this day and age, you got to look at the price, and if the deluxe is really what you want. I know, DLO, you've even said, deluxe so that you can get more value for it if you do decide to sell it or something like that. But I think there is a time and a place to possibly not get the deluxe. I think you just got to do what's right for your wallet, what's right for your personal preference, and kind of go from there. But yeah, that's an interesting observation that he's so far up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Captain America, man, how long has this guy been in stock? 2 years now? 2 years?
I mean, at least. I mean, he was delayed for 2 years, and now he's been there for 2 years. It feels like.
I thought he came out in spring or like early spring of 21. So you would think he'd be getting close because everybody wanted him. Everybody was waiting for him to come out. And then here he sits. So that's pretty crazy.
It's a great figure too. So it is just weird.
I think the material's a little too thick. It's hard to pose him.
Yeah, it's accurate, but it is a pain to pose. I'll give you that. All right.
Jable's picked up that integrated suit. Looking forward to opening it soon. It looks cool, especially like with the iron spider attachments. It's a really different look. Getting Doc Ock Deluxe, use the extra tentacles as diorama. That's a good idea. All right, what else we got on here? It's interesting too that these Mandos are so high up.
You read my mind. I'm like, how long are these Mandos going to be in stock for? I mean,
damn,
truly. Well, and this is going to be right there with Captain America.
And these were,
I wonder.
These were very discounted too recently. I know this one already still is 15% because they obviously need to get rid of this because they're waiting for that chrome to come in. So they probably want to move some of that dead stock. So yeah, if you need a Mando, now's the time to buy. If you don't care for the that chrome look, which I'm not gonna lie, I would really like to pick that one up.
I'm gonna wait for the clean version.
It's interesting that that chrome Mando is so like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say battle damage, but like weathered, yeah. Like it's this one's very clean, yeah. So that might factor into kind of what your preference is.
It's funny, maybe everybody's cleaning the weathering off. Have you seen that? Like online,
I've seen that.
Every collector is just washing it off. Like no one wants it weathered. I've never seen anybody do that with figures like that. Not at that pace. That's interesting. Let's see.
I forgot about this 2-pack. The Nightmare Batman and Superman.
I know. I mean, I bought that day one. I regret it, not because I have it, but because like it just went on sale like almost instantly. Now it's free shipping, but I mean, I seen it like $400 at one point.
I'm just kind of taking it all in here. See if anything sticks out. I'm trying to see if anything down in the lower region surprises me too. Like I know Wonder Woman was on a pretty good sale recently as well. Waitlisted for this one. I thought about this Doctor Strange, but I cannot justify paying that kind of price when he's not like a must for me. It would just be nice to add him to the Avengers line eventually.
I've seen him in person. It's really good. If I didn't already have one, I would absolutely be picking this one up. It's a really good, sharp figure.
What's interesting is we have the Black Widow here. I didn't see the white suit Black Widow. That one came out
Nor did
more
I.
recent, and I don't know if that's like she must not be doing good. I don't know, but the fact that Death Trooper is outselling her or Taskmaster, that's pretty insane. Actually, everybody was talking about that white suit Black Widow. There she
We
is.
got the Tony Stark suit up over there. I'm curious to see what Fabs thinks about that one there.
This one.
Yeah, it just seems like
That
it's kind of like very
it's
hit
a
or miss
pain.
for a lot of people. Yeah,
Right.
I'm hearing that too.
It's all plastic, so you got to be careful with that. Are you gonna get this Iron Strange?
Absolutely. No.
Are you?
Oh,
Absolutely
God, no.
not. Messing with me.
Let's see here. And with the Stap. So the Stap Anakin's still not selling that great. Let's see here.
Captain Rex has been in stock for over a year. It's crazy. It's #1 right now. I do feel like I remember people saying that was going to be like sold out really quick. And
Yeah, Ahsoka, him, all supposed to be like the next Grail kind of thing, and
right.
just they're still there. Yeah, it just goes to show you, it's nothing wrong with the figure. It's just a matter of there's so many good things to pick up that you can only pick up so much at one time.
16 Junkie says need that white widow.
I like that
think
White
she'll
Widow.
be there
I
for a
agree
while.
with Junkie on that one. That's a nice looking Black Widow. But rule of thumb, never pay over $200 for a Black Widow. Never hold their value. They never do.
You heard it here first, guys. Pennywise. I remember when that went on waitlist for a weekend and everybody started freaking out. And then that came back, and then now again, that was probably a year ago. I can't believe that's still in stock. I've gone back and forth so many times on picking that up, but
really, I love mine. I got mine during Black Friday. I will not.
Yeah, I remember that.
I will never get rid of that figure.
This figure doesn't surprise me. Winter Soldier. This one just seems like a really boring figure to own. Do you have that one, the Winter Soldier?
I have the better Winter Soldier from Infinity War.
I would agree. If I were to get one, it would not be this one.
Yeah, it just doesn't cut it for me. What I'm surprised is Vision. Vision is a surprise for me because I know Marvel's kind of slow right now, but we haven't gotten a Vision since Age of Ultron, and I thought collectors who would absolutely you would think they would be all over this just to have a Vision in their collection, and it's really low on this list. I mean, Winter Soldier's beating him.
Yeah. IG-11, giving this one away, $175 right now, 30% off if anybody needs one, $5 shipping. Just saying.
I mean, that's a freaking deal.
Another surprise, though, is this Captain Marvel. This figure is always on like 10, 15, 25% sale, and they cannot give this one away. Like, I just feel like
doesn't surprise me, though, to be honest with you. It's because no one likes the Captain Marvel. I mean, that's the bottom line of it there. It's not a matter of, is it a good figure? I own her. I got it at a discount, but she's just not a very well-liked character right now. Her movie wasn't that great. I mean, the actress, a lot of people don't like what she has to say, too, so it plays into effect with that stuff. Yeah. Brie Larson says a little too much sometimes. But
it's interesting. So I would assume these got to be getting close to being out of stock soon. If they're this high on the list, plus with all the discounts they've been doing, I could be wrong, but I'm just guessing for how long they've been in stock. They might be getting close to getting rid of them.
I mean, I would hope so, just for us collectors' sake there, but I feel like they have an entire section of the warehouse dedicated to this thing.
And if they overproduce on a figure, it would for sure be like Mando, because I mean they're just milking that franchise for everything they can get out of it.
This reminds me of like when they used to have like the stormtroopers from like the new sequels. Like the 2-pack would always be on Sideshow's website for forever, for years. I feel like this is what's going to happen with poor Mando.
Yeah. Poor Mando. Let's take a look at the pre-order list. Now I know neither of us really pre-order. I actually have in 2022 I pre-ordered 2 figures, Mantis and then Peacemaker when he came back in stock. I don't want to miss out on either one of those. I don't want to chance it. Those are the only 2 figures that I pre-ordered. Everything else I'm fine, kind of just waiting and seeing, which is kind of weird because I really want the Batman, the Pattinson Batman as well. But I know I'm not too worried about that. So
Didn't that one
but
also go away and then it came back as well too?
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was the deluxe, but I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of them did. So here, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the number 1 seller or pre-order, I guess. The Super Battle Droid, I guess, is a little surprising to me, but look at Iron Man kind of hopping up there right away.
Right out there.
I think the only one that surprises me is the Battle Droid, maybe Batman, just because he's coming out hopefully this spring/summer. So he's kind of been up here for a while. So the fact that he's still kind of this hot, kind of surprising,
Yeah.
but nothing else here really surprises me. I mean, Bane looks awesome. You know, Padme and Anakin are going to be great figures. And then Mando's, everybody's
Absolutely.
probably, this is a tough pill to swallow. 375 though for the deluxe. Even the
I mean,
330 for the non is just, ugh.
I would absolutely want Iron Man instead of this Mandalorian deluxe set for 375. I mean, that's that's a hard pill to swallow. I don't blame you. I know it comes with a head sculpt and all that stuff there, but sorry, it's not a $375 figure for me. At least it isn't. But the battle droid, I'll tell you, the battle droid it's not as surprising as you may think. When the other battle droids went to wait list
True.
and the C3PO, I think this kind of had a little FOMO effect on the super battle droid. I think that's why it's so high here. So
Is this something too that people might be like army building?
I mean, it's
Or not
certainly
really?
it's certainly a figure that is open to army building for sure. I mean, you can definitely go with multiple battle droids, and it's price friendly enough to do it if you wanted to get multiple ones. So I would say for sure, but I think the priority is always going to be the battle droid over the super battle droid. You can
Sure.
always use more battle droids and get away with having less super battle droids.
Oh, DeLorean. Any of these figures kind of in the top area? Are you picking any of these up outside of pre-ordering them?
Yes, all of them. The answer is
All of
all of
them?
them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting all of these. Oh yeah, I'm getting all of these here.
So you're
I don't
getting this
pre-order
Iron
for
Man
them.
and the two pack here, kind
Well, obviously no, smarty pants. No, I'm gonna get one. This you have DLO, not Fabs. Okay, I have a budget. No. I want that. I want that game. This is the figure that I never knew I wanted. To be honest with you, like I always thought if I wanted like this cool representation of Iron Man, I would get the Mark IV with the gantry. But I feel like the Mark 7, in my opinion, is a better version of. It's the same suit, by the way, in case
Sure.
you don't know. Mark 4 and the Mark 7 are six, excuse me, the same suit. So I rather get this version of the suit. It's unique. It has a triangle, which I think is like the only one that has it, right? And this gantry is just it's a lot more like refined version of the original gantries. I kind of like this one more, so I will pick this up here. Not day one. It will have to have $5 shipping or some craziness, but I will get this one day. It's coming home.
It's coming home.
I guess Mando. I'm probably gonna honestly maybe excluding this one and Mando. I just think that season 3 is right around the corner. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I bought the season 1 Beskar one, and then this was announced, shortly after that one came home. I was very upset after that happened. So this time I'm going to play the waiting game, and I'm going to see what season 3 has to offer for Mando, because there will be another one. And see what the price is and see what the accessories are and decide which one I want between the two.
I'm most excited for Bane, Batman. I want the Mando, but I'm not like the most excited for it. But
Sure.
even that Padme looks really good. So there's definitely a few on here that I want to get. Still want this DeLorean and Darth Vader. Wonder Woman's creeping up there. This Luke has got to be coming out sometime in the near future as well.
Absolutely.
Jake's
See, I
doing
imagine
pretty
some
decent.
of these.
Material.
Well, I mean, that movie's now jumped up to number 4 all time. Did you see that?
That's crazy.
Avatar 2.
I really wanted to go see it, but I was going to play hooky and go see it, but it's just too long. I got to go get my kids.
Oh, you still haven't seen the movie yet?
No.
Yeah. No, it's number 4. It
want
just
to.
passed Infinity War. It passed Infinity War this past weekend. So James Cameron has 3 out of the top 5 movies of all time. Crazy, that man.
I read
What a
something
career.
too about Zoe Saldana, who plays Natiri. She's been in like 4 movies that have grossed a certain, like an astronomical amount of
$2 billion.
money. It's crazy. I can't remember what the 4 are. Obviously, Avatar 2,
and Avengers. Yeah, and Infinity War.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Batman, are you just going straight for the bat signal, or are you just getting the deluxe?
I want the bat signal one. I'm not gonna lie. I want the bat signal
Almost
one.
gone.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see about that.
We'll see.
We'll see about that. I like to live dangerously.
Are you thinking about picking up either of these Avatar figures? I mean, you could fit them in those DFs. No, it's not for you.
The movies are not bad. Just not crazy about these at all. Honestly, just I kind of like the first version of Jake Sully from the original movie.
Yeah,
more than I like the new one
and everything.
Yeah, I think that one has a lot more style to it than this one does. This one feels a little plain.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Not really feeling it.
Bespin Luke is one I'm looking forward to.
Great looking figure. I have the DX07 though, so I'm torn whether I need to go. Do I really need a third Bespin Luke?
This looks like a great picture here too.
Nah, it's beautiful.
And the base isn't. It's not over the top, but it does look cool. It's got character. I like how it's like a simple diorama base, but it kind of works its way into the scene. When he's kind of hunting down Darth Vader. I love the circular base with just these 2 add-ons. It's just a nice touch. Not going to take up too much space, but it looks really good.
What perplexes me is like you don't need to get the deluxe to get this base, and in my opinion, this is the better base of the 2.
I agree. Yeah, that's true, because you get the Dagobah base.
Right.
And you're paying a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess you get the helmet too, but honestly, I don't know what I would do with that.
So crazy about that? That's the same head sculpt as the original DX07 one as well.
That's right.
So just I do not like this base at all. It's weird, but I mean, whatever. It's Sideshow. But I mean,
you almost would have thought that this is the one you think you get. It comes with. Right. Because it's just cheaped out. It's the normal flat base, and then you get this little add-on. But I mean, I'm definitely thinking of saving the money here and getting this one. But
yeah, for sure.
Cad Bane. Can't forget about Cad Bane.
Definitely coming home.
Peacemaker's not as far down as I thought. I mean, beating out the Green Goblin upgraded suit. It's kind of surprising.
Yes, it is.
Waitlist. All of these are waitlist.
But you know what? Like, did you see like online, like a whole bunch of people got like
Yep.
acceptances for all these there?
Yeah.
So it's just like, dude, nothing's really gonna get
It's
waitlisted. I'm sorry.
it-
It's
it's tough to
I
believe, yeah, what's real and what isn't. So,
what I've been saying from the get go, like when Fabs brings this up as well too. My theory is here is just there's going to be plenty to go around, but what Sideshow is trying to do is they're trying to minimize like the amount of money that they have to shell out for discounts to get rid of it. If they're driving up their own demand for something that they know the number for, and it's constantly waitlisted and converts, they're saving thousands of dollars by not giving us free shipping and discounts, stuff like that. So I know it's scary, but I mean, every time I've been saying this for months now, like, do not be pressured into reorder. There will be plenty to go around. They keep coming back up. That's all I'm saying.
it's true. It's true. Well, that was fun, DLO. I'm glad that you didn't bail on me like Fabs did, and you're my wingman tonight. So I appreciate it. Hope you had fun tonight, and hope you guys in the chat had fun too. You guys definitely made the show what it was. So thank you all for watching. Anything going on in your neck of the woods? Any upcoming purchases that you're getting really soon, or anything you just got? Anything you're doing on IG, taking photos, anything like that? Starting up
Yeah, I'm
your
doing a really
YouTube
bad
channel?
job. No, come on. Why do you always bring that up there? There's so many of these YouTube channels. Like, I can't keep up with that.
It's like building
But
your own home. You just gotta have one.
I'm just building my IG profile for you guys right now. Full disclosure, anybody who's first time meeting me here, like, these guys have been pressuring me to do like all this like influencer stuff, whatever. Like, come on, D-Lo, the cool kids are doing it, whatever. I'm like, no, I can't. But they finally convinced me to do something because they were giving out my personal information, like my personal profile.
I was not.
And like,
I didn't do that. That was
and I was getting a
Fabs.
lot of friend requests, and I felt bad. So I was like, you know what? Let me open IG so at least people can do that there. So now I'm like, oh, now I got to keep up my Instagram and put interesting photos up there just to keep people engaged. So you guys have pretty much gave me a part-time job doing this here. But on the flip side, purchase wise, believe me, I was going to save this for tomorrow for Fabs, but you're going to get the exclusive here, Graham. Ready for this?
Ooh, here we go. I'm ready.
I pre-ordered my first third party today.
Wow.
My first third party. I popped my cherry. I got the So Toys The Witcher.
Okay.
I pre-ordered
Big fan of the
yeah.
game, the book, the show.
Both. So,
Yeah.
and Henry Cavill fan as well too. So I was like, if he's not gonna be the character, might be my only chance. I don't know if anybody else is gonna take a swing in it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. This is like, if there's any good reason to do it, now's the time to do it. So ridiculously cheap, $210. I'm not used to it. I feel like I stole the figure. That's like such a good price.
For how
That's all it was.
For how good it looked. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And I pre-ordered my first, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and it was the Scissorhands figure, and still like 220 for how good that figure looks. So yeah,
you can't get
if
a
you can
super
get
battle droid.
right.
That's you got
Can't
a
even get
whole figure there with
Stormtroopers.
scissors in their hands.
Yeah, delicate,
Nice.
brittle, but that's okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm happy for you, and it's a good show. I gotta get back into season 2. I haven't started it yet, so much out there to watch.
Yeah. I'm gonna pretend that I'm a sophisticated person, but I had to watch the season like 3 times to understand what the hell happened. But after a while, I kind of figured it out. It's one of those shows where it's just like, I think I got an idea what the story is about now.
They don't do a very good job at like
a lot of flashbacks, a lot of keeping track of everything.
Bringing you along in or like hinting at these flashbacks. So I had to watch like Emergency Awesome. Yeah, I had to watch recaps every
That's
time.
a good. I love that.
Like, oh, this is great. So if anybody watches Game of Thrones or Witcher or anything like that, The Last of Us, check out Emergency Awesome. Huge channel. I don't know how this guy crams all that knowledge in his brain, but he just breaks every episode down. I'm like, oh, that helps a lot. So, all right. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching on my channel. I don't know what I'm going to do this week. It's either going to be a collection tour or maybe comparing the Maji cases to each other, the pros and cons to both, maybe which one you should buy if you're in the market for Maji cases. So, yeah, just stay tuned for that. But hopefully I can get something out this week. Otherwise, yeah, just trying to be here for you guys Monday nights at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys soon. Good night.